All right, Cleveland Browns. This is a team I have 4 different bets on between future bets and then season-long player props. I'll explain what they are and then why I bet them. First one is Nick Chubb, NFL rushing leader at plus 600 odds. Deshaun Watson and Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski have talked about in recent interviews how the offensive game plan will revolve around Nick Chubb. Camp reports have shown more use of running backs overall, both in the running game and the passing game. Browns have the second best offensive line in the league based on my rankings, which you can check out my complete offensive line rankings, wide receiver, tight end, receiving group rankings, secondary, and defensive front 7 rankings inside the Betting Network Discord. Also, no Kareem Hunt this year for the Browns. He took a lot of carries away from Chubb last season. This all seems to set the stage for a big season for Nick Chubb. Another thing I like is the majority of last season for the Browns was focused on getting Deshaun Watson familiar with not just football again, but the offensive style of head coach Stefanski, who had Watson playing primarily under center last year. In Houston, when Watson was at his best, he played more than 80% of the snaps out of the shotgun. Reports are the Browns will have Watson playing more out of the shotgun this season. I think this will actually benefit Chubb a lot. With Watson out of the shotgun, it will turn Chubb into more of an inside zone runner than an outside zone runner, and defenses will have to worry more about Watson in the run game now, and this should give Chubb more space to work. The predictive numbers also show Chubb is primed for a breakout season. On the screen shows rushing yards over expected, and then expected points added, or EPA per rush. In simple terms, what this shows is how Nick Chubb manages to get more yards on runs compared to all other running backs in the league on the same runs in the same game situations. Feel really good about Chubb leading the NFL in rushing. I made this bet a couple months ago at plus 600 for Chubb to be the NFL rushing leader, and most books have him currently around plus 450. I've seen some plus 500s. So I think I have a pretty good bet there. The next couple bets I have are based on the Browns' success as a team. I have them to win the AFC Conference at plus 1,600, and then I have them to win the AFC North at a couple different prices. Some of you are probably thinking I'm crazy for betting the Browns, especially if you're just basing them off of how they looked last season, but trust me, no team filled as many holes on their roster in the offseason as the Browns. They added speed and depth at wide receiver, trading for Elijah Moore. They signed Marquise Goodwin, drafted Cedric Tillman. They grabbed 2 proven pass rushers to go opposite of Myles Garrett. They really beefed up their run defense, which they desperately needed. But maybe more importantly, the defensive personnel will now be under new coaching, with defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz taking over. He was with Buffalo and Philly for, I believe, 6 years each. And his defenses have always ranked inside the top 10 in success rate allowed. And looking back at last season, Deshaun Watson came back to action week 13. No doubt he looked rusty, but it didn't help that his 6 starts he played were against top 5 defenses. For the season as a whole, the Browns played the number 1 toughest schedule of opposing defenses. This season, the Browns face a league average schedule. After week 2, the Browns don't leave Cleveland for 33 days. It's the longest home stretch of any team. And probably the toughest situational scheduling spot for the Browns would be the back-to-back road trip week 8. They travel across country to Seattle after a road game in Indy. Since 1999, teams playing in Seattle off a road game the prior week are just 19 and 28 against the spread, just a 40% win rate. I really like Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. He's one of the best decision-making coaches in the league based on plus EV decisions in the fourth quarter. And I really like how he switches up personnel groupings. Last year, he used 5 different personnel groupings at least 5% of the time, which gave the Browns the most diversity in the league. This obviously makes his teams very difficult to defend, and he's ahead of the curve on this kind, as more teams are starting to notice how you need to be versatile using different personnels. Browns are expected to be among the top 5 in usage rate of different personnel groupings. Browns should also get some positive regression this year with luck. Because of how unlucky they were last year, just going 2-6 in games decided by a touchdown or less, and went only 1-4 in games decided by a field goal or less. Week 2 last season, they lost to the Jets 31-30, and the Browns had a 13-point lead with 1:55 left. No matter how bad a team is, you don't see that too often. That's all I got for the Browns. Hope you found this video interesting or informative. Until next time, good luck with your